One of my colleagues writes that the steel unit at ThyssenKrupp shines again. Are you happy with a strategy that reduces reliance on steel at a time when it seems to be a part of your business that's doing quite nicely?
Clear we are. I mean, if you take a look, and we're very happy that our steel unit and the steel markets are in a much better shape than they used to be, but it still stays a volatile market as we have experienced throughout the years. Remember 2016 when numbers were down and were very, very depressed. Now, and the underlying reasons for that, the overcapacities in the markets prevail. So therefore, we think moving on and to get it into a joint venture is very good to improve as a clear and strong number two in Europe. And therefore, if the steel market is good, it can only be good for the joint venture and therefore for ThyssenKrupp overall as well.
You mentioned, Guido, there the overcapacity. How would you characterise the supply and demand story in steel right now, given that people talk about overcapacity, but then also talk about strong demand at the moment?
Currently, indeed, what we do see is a strong demand, strong industrial production basically everywhere, but still it remains true that we do see something like 300 million tons of overcapacities worldwide. This has not gone away. Prices have recovered, prices are good, demand is okay. So therefore it's moving currently in a better direction, but we have always experienced that it's still volatile. And there is capacity out now, but not enough. It's still overcapacity.
Still overcapacity. And sticking with steel just briefly, when are you going to decide on the planned steel merger with Tata Steel? What's the date around this, the decision-making here?
What we have clearly said is what we want, what our intention is to get it in the first half of 2018. We're currently a bit depending on the consultation processes Tata is undergoing in the Netherlands and in the UK. They need to be finalized and then we can move on.
Yeah, are there problems with Dutch unions opposing the deal?
Well, I don't see it. I think it's a normal process is running. There are always noises involved. Remember the noises we had in Germany when we did our negotiations. That's normal. That's part of the game.
Let me ask you about the tariff story then, because, of course, this has grabbed a lot of the headlines, the Trump administration imposing those tariffs. How do you currently see those US tariffs impacting on the European steel industry? Do you already see evidence of more Chinese steel trying to come into the European market?
No, so far we don't see anything there. I mean, for most of the companies, like for us, we just have 4% of our steel we're selling into the U.S. and for the second half of the year, it's basically fixed volumes and fixed price schedules for that. So short term, we're looking forward pretty positively, and a lot of the qualities we sell into the U.S. are not produced over there. So our customers stay loyal to us. Now, having said that, we have to see how finally tariffs will be there and whether other volumes might come onto the European market and might be redirected. Let's wait and see, and let's wait and see what the European Union is doing. Chinese volumes, we haven't seen any change over the last month there in Europe.
What's your understanding of where we've got to with the conversations between Europe and Washington on this? Are you happy with the lobbying that Europe is doing? Are you confident that there'll be any kind of exemption? What are you hearing, Guido?
Look, we're not too close to that one, so I cannot comment on that. We're a company that finally has to take what is happening. What we can clearly say is steel tariffs anywhere, any trade protections are not helpful in the Western world to improve all underlying economies. So we're not in favor of them if there is no dumping happening, which we don't see.
And Guido, just finally, you're clearly a business that's more than steel. Tell me your take on the global economy at the moment. Are you, where are you concerned about?
I think overall the global economy is doing well. U.S. is pretty strong on infrastructure buildings. You see it in our elevator numbers. We see in South America, Brazil slightly coming back from very low volumes. China is solid and stable. Middle East is okay. Europe is on a very good level, moving slightly up. So I think overall this is a good economical underlying situation, one of the best we've ever had.